Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler, and we continue our Tasmanian adventure. For the last 3-4 days we've been playing table tennis here at the Silverdome Stadium in Launceston. I think, what's today? Tuesday, so it's been Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. We're now playing the finals of our crossover matches. So just in summary quickly, for those that are at all interested in table tennis results, we were seeded 6th bottom in our group of 6 in our A division, and we managed to beat the 5th team, so we finished on position 5. Then we play a crossover with the B division group and we play the bottom team, and then there's a bit of a sort of a semi-final affair to finalise our position. Now overall we were seeded 11th, and we're currently playing for 9th position, our last match at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. So even if we lose, we've exceeded expectations, which is pretty cool. So I'm playing in a President's team. I'm not in a Victorian team this year. Then the President's teams are made up of extras that didn't make the state teams or were sort of surplus to requirements, shall we say. I enjoy playing in the President's team. I've got a couple of good teammates. I've really enjoyed meeting them and playing with them. A guy from New South Wales, Nick, and a guy from the ACT, John. So we're just shaping up for our final match. I'll take you for a quick walk into the stadium. And I have got some footage Christine took of one of my matches the other day. I might put the final game on just to show you what sort of atmosphere there is, and it was a close match. So let's go for a walk through first. I don't expect anyone's going to talk to me, given that I've got a camera and they might keep well away, but we'll go and have a look. So it's a nice venue here. It's pretty much on top of a hill, but then in Tasmania you're either on the top of a hill, on the side of a hill, or at the bottom of a hill. There's not much choice. But it's a great stadium. It's actually a velodrome, so it has a timber bicycle track or racing track around it, and they've fenced off the centre part. The only downside is you have to walk up and down steps to get in and out of the place. We'll come through here into the foyer area, and very nice complex, fairly modern. I don't know when it was built, but there's a cafe down the end there. And I don't know how many competitors there are here this week. There are teams from every state as well as New Zealand. And the host state, Tasmania, are well represented. We did have a good win against them, so apologies to the Tasmanians. We played pretty well against New Zealand too, for that matter. So here's the, obviously a lot of seating for the bicycle racing. There's not that many crowds that are that keen on watching table tennis. Most of the spectators are actually players waiting for another match. But we did get some promotion on the local TV stations. So if you excuse me puffing, I'll walk down the steps and we'll make our way to the table where we're playing our next match. Now there's all age groups from over 30s right up to over, I think there's an over 85 event. So a lot of people play this as a lifetime sport, and it's a sport that you can keep playing. Barring injuries, you can keep playing for your entire life. And it's a great social event. So after you've played a few nationals, you do get to know a lot of people, and of course there's your own Victorian teammates. But you can see it's quite crowded here. A lot of matches about to start, and as you can see as well, there's all age groups playing. Some of them very competitive. No one ever loses their competitiveness. And a few people that know me are looking at me sideways. I probably shouldn't focus too much on matches because I don't know if people like being filmed, but we'll weave our way through here. And I think there's a really good match going on here with David, a guy I know, and one of the South Australian guys. So they're pretty serious, those guys, way better than I am. But they always attract a crowd when they're playing. So we'll weave over here.
For me, I'm here.
Yeah? You want to feature on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies.
Yeah. And you're from WA?
WA, yes.
Fantastic. See, all states represented.
That's the one.
So we're about to play, I think, on table 33 over here. So I'll make my way through the crowd. Don't worry, you won't be on YouTube. Unless you want to be. No? So here's John and Nick doing a bit of a hit up. So we're getting ready for our match. I think we start in 11 minutes. Let's pan around to the clock. 4:49. Hello, say hello YouTube. Hello. South Australian team.
Some men from Queensland.
Yeah. Oh, we are. Yeah. Here's one of our competitors. Barry from Queensland. Sorry? Adelaide. Very nice. Whoops. Dropped your phone. So the big clocks up the each end of the stadium there. I guess they were put in for when the cycle racing is going on. You can see over the back there, there's those angled boards. It's amazing how steep the track is for the cyclists. So 4:49 is the time. It's not a rolling count of our unforced errors in our match, although we've probably made more than that. A couple of Victorian players playing here. Lots of attacking and chopping. Everyone has different styles. Table tennis is one of these sports where players are like snowflakes. There's no two the same. So you can see our grey president shirts. So John and Nick are warming up, are ready for our match. Okay, and here's one of my matches. In fact, I'll show you just one game out of this match. Now I'm playing David from Queensland here, and it may not look super exciting to a lot of you. I appreciate most of you don't know anything really about table tennis, but it's I'm playing a fairly defensive game these days because after my shoulder surgery I'm no longer a big attacker, and I'm using two different sorts of rubbers. The red rubber that I just served with is fairly spinny, and my aim is to vary the spins a lot and hopefully draw a lot of mistakes from my opponent. Now this side I serve with the black side, which has pretty much no spin. It's actually got what they call long pimples on it, and I sort of engage players with pushing rallies and chopping rallies. Sometimes I'll attack. That was a poor effort and I missed that one. And the low friction rubber, the pimples, is handy for returning spinny serves. Now, I'm by no means one of the better players here. I'm probably below average, but it is the Nationals, so I'm pretty pleased to be competitive against many of these guys. And we had a good match, David and I. He's normally a pretty good attacker, but because I was varying the spin a lot, you can get people to lose a bit of confidence, and sometimes you win just by them making mistakes. So I get involved in a fair few long rallies. I managed to retrieve quite a lot of smashes when I'm playing well. This match isn't a good example, and at this stage I'm leading 2-1, so we play best of 5, and it's only up to 11 these days. But we had a couple of reasonable rallies in this match, and all the while the pressure's building. Because I'm 2-1 up, it does put a lot of pressure on David, and he had trouble opening up with his top spins, and I was trying to keep the ball in awkward positions for him, and all the time I was ready to run back and retrieve if he does open up with a big smash. Of course, I'm hoping that he misses most of them. This one I think he does open up at some stage. I'm pinning him on his backhand a bit. He's got normal rubber both sides, by the way. I managed to get a top spin in there, then he counter-attacks and I go back to it being a chopper, and it's a bit of cat and mouse sometimes. It's really the person that can be the most consistent often wins the point. And I get another attack in which he blocks, and I couldn't get that one back. So it was a good rally, that one. He won the point. I can't quite read the score here, but David does actually win this game to level the match up at 2 games all. So it's my serve again. I go for the red rubber to try and get a fair bit of backspin on the ball, but most of the good players read the spin very well. And again, we have a bit of a retrieving and smashing rally. Most of the time I will retrieve rather than attack, but I do have the ability to attack depending on the style of player that I'm playing against. But I was doing well here, drawing mistakes out of David. That one was actually a let because the ball came in the court from another game, so we replayed that point. But in a tense match, and when someone's a bit shaky on their attack, I find I can usually snag a win by just being defensive and trying to be as consistent as I can, and hitting the ones that need to be hit. So I drew close. I forget what the score was in this game, but David did manage to win this one. What happens with this point? He didn't have very complicated serves, and again, if they give me a lot of spin and I counter with the black side, it can cause them troubles with the third shot. Managed to get away a good backhand there, although I did apologise for hitting the net the point before. There's a lot of ethics involved, and you know, it's polite to be a good sportsman, of course. Tried to chop that one back. I think he's got a fair advantage in this game now. Might be 7-9 perhaps. Missed that one, which takes him to 10-7, is it? I can't quite read the score. But you can see I tend to try and get him into pushing rallies. I was making some unforced errors there. He's on 10 now because the 10 on the score thing is coloured red, and I think he manages to hit a winner there to win that game. So that squared us up as 2-all. And here's the very last point of the deciding game. David gets a good smash on, but I managed to chop it back, and I just wore him down until he made enough mistakes, and I managed to win the match. So it was a pretty tough, hard-fought battle, and I was happy to get that win. And so we'll finish this video up with just some highlights from my last match of the week. This was against another Queenslander, Barry, who was a bit better than me. We had some great rallies though, and it's a good lesson, I think, in strategies for table tennis, because the first couple of games I was doing more retrieving, and Barry was just a bit too consistent on his attacks, although he did miss a few. But by the time we got to the third game, I had to start attacking more, change the game strategy, and it did get me back into the game. And then in the last, unfortunately, I went back to my comfort zone of retrieving, and you really need to keep your focus in these matches. I am guilty of sometimes switching off and not thinking the shots through properly. Table tennis is often described as a combination of chess and boxing, so there's a lot of strategies as well as a lot of reflexes and fitness. But we had a good match. As I said, these are highlights, some great rallies, and it could have been much closer with just a few bits of luck, actually. I mentioned before about the bat. I use the red side for more spinny shots, but I can also twiddle so that I can play a spinny shot off forehand or backhand, depending which side of the bat I've got. That can confuse the opposition, but it can also confuse me. I'm still learning very much how to use this combination, because I've only been using the long pips really since I started to have shoulder trouble. But I'm enjoying the challenge. But in the last game, Barry got his eye in and I lost my focus, and he beat me fairly easy to win 3-1. So thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed a bit of table tennis action. We have one more video from our Tassie trip to go. We do a bit of a cruise up the Cataract Gorge and see a car museum. So I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.